UFC Vegas 113. This is the Dfs Breakdown and Strategy video. It's your boy Hazel MMA. Let's get right into it, man. So here are the results. This is our best lineup last week in the mini max. Um, needed bigger scores from Volk and Teixeira to really take down, but yeah, I was high on Louis going into that week. I felt like he could get the takedowns, and I just knew his forward pressure was going to be too much for Solid Ground Ball. So then you got Ofli. I honestly think he lost. When you get knocked down two times or whatever it was, three times in a fight, and you're not really doing nothing with your wrestling but holding them, I don't think he should have got this decision. But hey, we take it. And you got Malcolm exposing the fried Therese Finney. I mean, he need to be cut. I think there's one more fight on his contract, and I think he's gonna be cut. But then you got Tyler Shin. This dude is trash. We're definitely gonna fade him his next fight. No cardio, nothing. Yeah, but it was a solid week. Um, yeah, let's get into this week. So for this card, man, me personally, I don't think we're gonna see a lot of finishes on this card. I think we're gonna see a lot of decisions, and we're gonna be searching for upside on this card for sure. But let's get right into it. So I'm gonna just give you guys, my favorite pay up options and some of the dogs we should be targeting. So the first pay up option, let me just go ahead and plug him in. Dustin, Almeida, Michael. I'll give you guys my thoughts on the main event when we get there. But I think these four pay up options are the ones we should be building around. You got Doncheco versus Alex Morono. You got the under 1.5 at -130. Um, yeah, man, I think he's gonna storch Moreno here. Um, Amazing striking, great takedown defense, powerful shots. Younger guy. I just think he's gonna. I mean, you got Moreno. What is he? I think four in a row, three in a row. Nico Price, Sierra. Yeah, I just don't think he's gonna have enough for Donchenko. So um, Donchenko probably will be my highest exposed pay up option. I think he's gonna find that first round and get us 100 plus. You got Dustin Jacoby here versus Walker. Let me go. Got Dustin Jacoby. Got under 2.5 at -220. Um, yeah, I think in this matchup, if he can, keep it on the feet, I think he's can I think he can find a finish against Julius Walker. Walker's gonna be trying to get it to the mat, but I think he's a little chinny, and you know, we know Jacoby has power in his hands. In an 8-7, if he wins, I think it's by knockout, and he's for sure 10x in this price. So I think he's a great option. And we getting out of Almeida, man. You know, we know he's gonna go for takedowns. Blah blah blah. Like we know we'll be getting out of Almeida. If he wins, it's probably 100 plus, and we just gotta have it. So he's gonna be in the pool, but when we get to the dogs, I'll tell you my thoughts on that. But I'm personally gonna be underweight to Almeida this week. I know he can have a higher score on the card, but again, in this matchup, when we get to it, I think he's gonna struggle in this matchup. But he'll be in the pool because again, when he wins, it's 100 plus, and you're gonna have to have it. So I think he's a solid click, and that fight is, let me see, under 1.5 is plus 100. So you know he don't have a lot of um, finishes. I mean, yes, I mean, yeah, he do. He just boring. I mean, got KO. So I mean, he could find a finish, but yeah. And you got Michael and Jake Shots versus I'm gonna butcher his last name. I was gonna call him Mark. Yeah, in this matchup, man, you got two strikers, two powerful strikers. You got let me see, under 1.5 is -160. Yeah, man, I think we're gonna see a finish in this fight. Two guys that like to push forward, throw big bombs. You know, I think I think Michael is starting to come in. Like I think he's starting to find his groove in these last two fights. Yeah, they against bums, but he's a powerful guy, and in this matchup, Mark he gets finished. He's not the most durable guy. So I definitely think, there's going to be a finish in this fight, and we're going to have to target this one. Um, so those are some of my favorite pay up options. I will have the most of Donchenko and probably Michael next. Um, some guys I would consider would be Wong Kong. She's fighting Amora, who I feel like she's gonna be trying to get takedowns in this fight, but I just don't think she's gonna have success getting Kong to the ground. And Kong, she's a powerful striker. She moves like a Peter Yan. She has that. She's very skilled on the feet. She she moves like a male in there. But I think if she find a shot on him, or I think she could find a finish in this fight. So I don't mind her if you're doing multiple teams, but in 3 to 5 teams, I don't think I can get there. But in 20 max, I'll sprinkle her in because she has the upside to get a finish. So those are some of my favorite pay up options. Now for some of my dogs that I like, so some of the dogs I like, let's go ahead and plug in Vicious, Walker, Wiglex, 20. And yeah. So these are my 4 favorite dogs. I feel like I gotta throw them in here just because. So we'll get to it. So let's start with the main event. You got Vinicius versus Mario Batista here, and in this main event, I don't think this is a must-have. Um, Batista, he's not the highest input guy. He can get takedowns, and yeah, he could score in a 5 round, but for the most part, he's gonna be looking to strike, and you know he could get there. In 5 rounds if he's mixing in takedowns, which in this matchup I feel like he should. So at 8-8, he could 10x his price. You got 5 rounds to work with. It's just in this matchup, I don't know what his ceiling can be because I feel like he's gonna be on the defense the whole fight. You got Vicious. He likes to push forward, so that's gonna put Batista on his back foot a lot. And like how much scoring, like how much input is Batista gonna be, throwing if he's on the defense all the time. So I'm kind of I'm kind of shaky on the main event this week. I don't think it's a must-have, especially at 8-8. Um, it's a lot of guys that can outscore Batista in that range. I mean, you look at that range. Some of the guys we already talked about, but you got Dustin for 100 less. You got Almeida, Michael for 300 more. I think it's better options in that range this weekend. I'm just not in love with the main event. Um, if I had to play a side, it would be the Oliveira side because at 7-4, I think if he win any win at 7-4 in a 5 round fight, he's gonna 10x his salary. And I honestly think he might, he could find a finish in this fight. He has an awkward style, that hands down, walk forward pressure. And, it could get interesting in there, but I definitely think um, he's he's a guy we should be overweight to. I'll probably have about 40%. I think in all his wins, he's optimal, but I don't think Batista is a must play on this slate. And you got Julius Walker here. Yeah, if he finds takedowns in his matchup, I mean, we just saw 6 takedowns, 119. I mean, it could get interesting. So you got this fight again. It's under 2.5 minus 120. If he finds takedowns and he could find a submission or ground and pound. So I definitely like Walker as a value play. And you got Whitglass versus Gafarov. Yeah, in this matchup, so you got two mid-range fights. You got this one and the Saeed and Basharat fight. The reason I like the Whitglass fight more is because it's favored to let me see, what is the under 2.5 is plus 125, so it has a better chance of finishing. And in this matchup, if Whitclatch can, I think he's gonna try to find takedowns. Gafarov is the better striker. He has solid wrestling, but matter of fact, I should plug in Gafarov because the 8-2, I like him too. I think whoever wins in this matchup can 10x their score in the mid range. But yeah, I think Whitclatch is gonna be trying to get it to the mat, and he has submissions in his game, and we've seen Gafarov in trouble. So on the feet, I do lean Gafarov. Whitclack's a little awkward on the feet, and it could get interesting. But whoever wins, I feel like it's 10x in their salary, and if Whitlax wins, I feel like that's through takedowns and things of that nature. So I definitely will be overweight to Whitlax in this matchup. And then you got Kuniev right here versus Almeida. I'm on the Kuniev side. I'm not a fan of Almeida. He just lays and prays. But in this matchup, man, I actually think he didn't do that bad versus Plagues. And he has solid takedown defense. He's training with Magomed. Powerful striker. And Almeida can be a little chinny. We saw that in the Blades fight. So if he, if Cunha's stuffing takedowns, it could get interesting. I think he could find a finish here. And at 7-7, I think he's definitely gonna pay off his price. So I hope he overweight to Cunha. And then my sleeper that I kind of like is Gene Matsumoto. Now look, he is a punching bag. if you if you watch this guy fights, I mean that's no head movement. Man, where am I? I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking for the. What up, man? There we go. Yeah. So yeah, in this matchup, you know, he's very aggressive. He's gonna have the advantage on the mat. I feel like, and if he can get takedowns, it could get interesting. I don't love it because I feel like he's a punching bag, and I feel like Bashrat can just kill him with the jab and bounce around for the majority of the fight and score a 70. So I don't love it, but if Gene can get his takedowns, I definitely think he's a solid look. I wouldn't be surprised if he won this matchup. So he's gonna be in my pool. But yeah, let's do a little quick build again. This is not the best slate, you know. It's not really any big names, you know. I think it's gonna be a low scoring slate, so I would advise, you know, to play a little lighter on this card. Don't go too crazy, you know, because anything can happen on these little fight nights. But let's start with a build. So um, let's go ahead and plug in my boy Vicious. I think he's gonna get it done. Let's plug in Kunia. Got 8-7. I'm playing my boy Donchenko right here. You know, you can go one of these, you can go mid range. Let's go with Lux. Got 8-6 left. Um, I mean, right here, could get another dog to pay up. Let's go Dustin. You got 8-6. See, that's where it gets tough because I mean, I don't like any of these clicks, man. You know, you got Sagala versus Kachera. I don't really think, you know, I don't think she's gonna 10x her salary and wins. So, yeah, I mean, it gets tough. I think we just gotta play around with it. In this build, I would go to Walker so I can pay up for another guy. Maybe something like this, you know. Or let's clear that out. Let's go Dustin. Let's go Wiglox. Let's go Vicious. Let's go Cunha. Let's go Michael. And I don't know, I'm looking at it, man. That second mid-range fight may be a solid fight to target just because the nature of the slate. I mean, I don't like where we're landing right here. I don't really love Fareed Basharat in this matchup. I mean, he's so low output. I mean, he could find takedowns in this matchup. So, I wouldn't mind it, I guess. But in this lineup, I probably would plug in Fareed here. Let's see if we can get up to one con. Who we gotta get off of? Let's get off Wiglax. Then you got your boy. Could go Gene because I like that side better. Yeah, it's kind of tough, man. It's kind of tough to build. I mean, it's looking like both the mid-range fights may be the play. Because I don't love the range that we're landing in, honestly. So, yeah. Dustin, Reese's, Cunha, we got 8-7. It's tough because, like, you know, let's go Gene. I feel like he can get takedowns in this fight. You got Michael. You can still get on Jericho. So, yeah, man, it's looking kind of tough this week, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So, um, if you have, you know, if you have a take, I would say go for it. You know, don't be scared to play guys you like, because honestly, I feel like this slate is wide open as far as DFS. It's gonna be a whole lot of floor, you know, floor, the ceiling's not gonna be high on these guys. So it's gonna be interesting, man. But yeah, man, that's all I got for you guys. Um, I may do an updated video, but I doubt it. Yeah, again, this is not the best DFS card, so I wouldn't go too crazy on it, but still money to be made. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.